Hi, and welcome to the Caterpillar Cross Stitch YouTube channel. My name's Ford from Son of a Stitch, and this week I'm going to show you how to sew up the back of your project when displaying it in an embroidery hoop so that it has a nice finished look and lays flat against the wall while you're displaying it. We'll show you how to make it look like this in just a few easy steps. Here at Caterpillar Cross Stitch, we are all about cross stitch, and we upload helpful and hopefully entertaining videos about it every single week. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss any of our videos, and make sure you hit the like for this video as well so I know I should make more content like it. Likewise, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer or things you'd like me to demonstrate on the channel, you can put those in the comments and I'll add it to my list of future video ideas. Now, there are a lot of different ways to finish the back of a project in an embroidery hoop. I'm going to be focusing just on doing this to the project today. It's the first step for most other methods of finishing, but it also can be just all that you do. It makes it a little more permanent in the hoop, it makes it a little more pleasing to display, and it makes it so that it'll hang flat against the wall when you hang your embroidery hoop on a hook or a pin. So let's get started. But before we go any further, I do want to remind you to join the Caterpillar Cross Stitch VIP Stitch Club. When you join, you'll get 10% off your first order, you'll get an ebook with 8 free cross stitch patterns in it, and you'll get a digital download of our top 10 cross stitching tips. So make sure you hit the link down there in the description to sign up for all of those great perks with the VIP Stitch Club. So this is the project that I'm going to be mounting in the hoop today. The supplies that we're going to need are the finished project, of course, an appropriate sized hoop. Here I'm using a 6-inch bamboo hoop because they're cheap. We're going to need a little bit of floss in a coordinating color to the project. We're going to need a slightly large blunt needle, and as always I'm going to be using a needle minder to help keep that under control for me when I'm not using it. And we're going to need a nice sharp pair of scissors that will cut the cloth neatly for us. So our first step is going to be getting our project installed centered in the hoop. And having a background that contrasts with the color of the fabric can be really helpful in this. So the black surface of my table will be really convenient because when I put the inner ring of the hoop behind it, you can actually see it. So that makes it really easy to get it positioned the way I want. In the episode that I made about accessories, I showed you a light table that I like to use, a tracing table. That can be really handy for this as well so that you can see the hoop through the fabric. So once I've got it positioned the way I want, I just open up the outer ring hoop all the way and just slip it down on there. Now I need to make sure that this is where I want it to be, because once I tighten that down, I won't really be able to move that very well. So once that's in position, I just start tightening down the outer hoop, and that will clamp it on there. Just stop occasionally to adjust that because the fabric will bunch up a little bit as it tightens down, especially here at the gap. And there we go. Once we've got that down pretty good and tight, then we can turn it over, make sure we don't have any bunching here on the back. That looks pretty good. And the next thing that we're going to want to do is to trim this down so that we have a consistent amount of border all the way around. You can see I've got an inconsistent amount here. So that's where my beautiful dressmaking shears come in. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but I want to be pretty consistently about an inch or about 2.5 centimeters away. That's about how much of this I want to keep. So I'm going to cut in from the edge a little, and then I'm just going to cut a circle all the way around. Doesn't need to be perfect, but you do want to be pretty consistent. I've been a little bit sloppy here, so I'm just going to trim off my little star points. There we go, not too bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my floss that matches the project or coordinates with the project. Now personally, I don't like to use all 6 strands for this. I like to use more like maybe 3. I'm going to take 3 strands of it. I'll start by tying a pretty big knot here. I want it close to the end because I just want it to keep it from pulling through the fabric in the next stage. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So then I'm going to take my 3 strands and I'm going to thread my needle. I want to use a large blunt needle for this because I need the floss to be able to pull pretty easily through the fabric once I'm done, because I'm going to be using it to cinch it and tighten it up. So a larger needle will open the fabric up a little bit more and make that work better. So I'm just going to pick a point arbitrarily, and I'm going to go about halfway in from the end. And I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to go down in. This is important because I need to be able to get a hold of that later, and if my knot is on the underside, it will be hard to do. So I'll pull that all the way through up to my knot. And then I'm going to go all the way around the hoop. Oops, get out of the way. Making stitches about every ½ inch. And I can pull that through as I need to, but not every time. And I'm going to try to use the existing holes in the fabric because the fabric will be stronger that way, and again because it will be easier to cinch when I'm done. I will speed this up for you now. Now, a lot of the things that I learned about cross-stitching, I learned from online social communities. I strongly recommend especially the Caterpillar cross-stitch community. There's a Facebook group with over 18,000 members. There's also an extremely active and informative Instagram following. So I highly recommend that you join that group and follow that Instagram so that you can take advantage of the wealth of wisdom that the Caterpillar cross-stitch community contains. And once I get to the very end, I want my last stitch to come up through the same hole as my first one went down. See that? Because I'm going to be pulling on those 2 ends to cinch all of this together. So I'll put my needle back on my cute little needle minder so I don't lose it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pull this fabric in towards the center just to help this process along. And I'm going to grab these 2 ends and I'm going to pull them opposite one another and opposite the direction that they come from. So this end I'm pulling this way and this end I'm pulling this way so that they cross one another. And that will really easily just cinch all of that fabric down and bring it in towards the center. So I give that a good pull, and then I will put the first half of a knot there, just a simple overhand knot, or the first half of a square knot, or first half of a granny knot, however you know it. And then I'm going to really pull that. And I can put my finger on there. If you have someone else to help you put their finger on there, that will make that easier. Pull the knot down onto it. There we go. Now that gives us these kind of ruffly frills here, which can still keep it from laying quite flat. So I have a couple of tricks to help deal with that. One, we can go ahead and trim these off now. Our knot should be secure. So trick number 1 is I like to take the inner ring and I like to push it out a bit so that the inside ring sort of extends beyond the face of the inner ring. For one thing, that helps keep it laying flat once we're done here, but it also just looks really nice. Gives it a nice framed finish look. And then the other trick is just a little bit of water. Cotton is the main fabric in most cross-stitching fabrics, and cotton becomes very malleable when it's damp. So we can apply just a little bit of water that will really soften up these creases. You can use steam if you have a steam wand or an iron with steam. And push those down a little more. And then once they dry, they'll pretty much just stay there. So I will take the project now and I will just set it on a flat surface and wait for it to dry, and then it'll hold that shape when it's done. Now once you've done that, if you want to, you can cut a disc of quilt batting or felt or something like it and stuff it inside there underneath the band that creates. And that'll hide the stitches, especially if your back isn't all that tidy. Personally, I also like the way that it makes it a little bit more opaque, and so the holes in the fabric aren't quite as obvious, and it just makes it a little bit more polished and finished. So that's definitely something nice to be able to do as well. Next week, I'm going to show you how to stitch a piece of felt onto the back of that for a totally finished piece. I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. My name is Ford for Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I will see you next time.
Hi, have you heard about Love It Stitch It yet? You can design and shop the cross-stitch patterns you've always wanted. Love It Stitch It is an easy-to-use design tool and exclusive cross-stitch marketplace, giving you the freedom to create, sell and shop all in one place. You can design anything that you like, add text, upload and convert pictures and artwork. You can design the cross-stitch patterns of your dream. You can download them for personal use, or you can upload them onto the marketplace, designed by cross-stitchers for cross-stitchers, jam-packed with some gorgeous cross-stitch patterns from designers all over the world. If you're not interested in designing or selling, that's totally fine too. Just visit the marketplace and you can shop from hundreds of beautiful cross-stitch patterns so you can pick your next project. Are you already a cross-stitch designer, but maybe you're fed up of other marketplaces, maybe not getting the sales that you deserve, maybe not getting your patterns seen as much as you'd like? Then let us help. You can easily register for free and get uploading your PDF patterns with absolutely no fees whatsoever. Let us then market your gorgeous designs that you've put all of your work into to over 185,000 dedicated cross-stitchers from all over the world. We will absolutely do our best to get your patterns seen and into the right hands of people that we know will absolutely love stitching them. As a designer, you can easily list your PDF patterns for sale, no matter which software you use to design them. Our job is to make cross-stitch design accessible to all. There's nothing to upgrade, there's nothing to download. It's really easy to use and beginner friendly. We also wanted to create the marketplace to bring sellers and buyers together so that it's really easy and such an enjoyable experience to shop all of the high quality verified designs on the platform, but also to give those amazing designers a place to really showcase their creativity. So visit loveitstitchit.com today and register for free. Stitch what you love and free your creativity.